Well, the booming world of online betting is facing fresh scrutiny, with DraftKings co-founder Matt Kalish warning prediction markets remain years away from seriously challenging traditional sportsbooks. Let's discuss the state of play with Tom Waterhouse from Waterhouse VC, who joins me now. Good to see you, Tom.
Good to see you too.
So what has Matt Kalish said? Because he's said this quite publicly, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did. Look, he in a way he's not wrong, but what these prediction markets have been able to do is they've been able to really cut through and get attention to a mass audience in the US and gain mass acquisition. And also they've got this regulatory arbitrage that they can offer what is essentially a sports betting in states that didn't allow sports betting. So in terms of the customer faces a tough time, because in an exchange type environment, a prediction market, a little bit like exchanges that you see in the UK and Australia, you're up against financial institutions, you're up against professional bettors. So it's very tough money. You're dealing in a very tough, sharp market. And also there's not always liquidity, where when you bet with a bookmaker, you're betting against a fixed price, you're betting against the house. So the margin difference so far has been very different between a prediction market and the margin that a retail punter is losing at compared to a sports book. But where is really interesting is just the cut through and the user experience. It's really been a big game changer, especially in the US. But I think sportsbooks have definitely got, if they're allowed in all those states and they're allowed to offer their traditional product, as you saw in Australia, Betfair took off and was very big, but the largest market operators are the sportsbooks, like the likes of Sportsbet, Ladbrokes and Tabcorp.
So as you say, potentially he's not wrong. What's the real state of prediction markets though in your view at the moment?
Well, the growth has been amazing, both in valuation, like Kalshi, I think raised a $1 billion valuation maybe 12 months ago, and now is raising it 25 billion or something like that, or 30 billion, some huge number. And Polymarket also is the same. And the cut through, just there isn't a day that doesn't go by that you see Kalshi prediction market on some, whether it's bombs are going to be dropped, colour of hair, temperature, sporting event, anything. And it's really taken up from a popular, people are talking about it. You know, it's a water cooler moment. And sportsbooks haven't had that for a while, you know, and so they've got cut through, they're able to acquire customers, and they're able to offer a product in states that are starved of being able to bet. So it's really interesting, and that's why there's, from an investor's point of view, we don't invest in B2C, but you're seeing massive increase in value, $1 billion to $22 billion or whatever valuation in 12-month period, and you're seeing the traditional sports books, they're down 50, 60, 70% in share price value over the same period of time. So you can take a view that they've been oversold and they're their value, long term they're going to win, or you can take a view that no, the game's really changing, you know, so that, and investors are really, they're voting with their feet and their money.
Speaking of money, the billionaire Kenneth Dart, now you've spoken to us quite a few times about Flutter. He's got a 25% stake, I believe, in Flutter and Evolution AB, is that correct? So
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, what's he doing there? What's he doing that we don't
know? Look, he's a very wealthy US individual. I think he lives outside the US now, but he's taken big bets before in the tobacco industry and now taking big bets in the gambling industry, both ends. So consumer-facing end with Flutter, they own Sportsbet, FanDuel, Skybet, Betfair, Paddy Power, and so on. And then the back end, Evolution's the largest live dealer provider in the world. So they're both huge companies, throw off a lot of cash. Both had big decrease in share price over the last 12 months. So he's looking to really time the market. They're both trading at relatively low earnings ratios, and Evolution, we don't invest in B2C, but Evolution, we look at B2B very, very closely and invest in that area. Evolution's a very interesting business. It's got distribution globally with 870 bookmakers. It's trading at around 10 times earnings. It throws off a lot of cash flow. We've been a long-term investor in Evolution, and Flutter, well, if you want to be in an operator that's global, got scale, got all of the licenses globally, got a very experienced team, well, Flutter's the scale operator, you know, so you can see why he's making these bets and really picking out the gambling industry, both those two large scale operators.
Do you think it validates when you have one of the world's most secretive investors putting so much money behind companies like that?
Look, it definitely, I don't know. We don't really look at it like that because we're focused. We feel we're very have detailed knowledge of this particular industry, but I can definitely see as an outsider why he is making that bet on this market, and they're two. He's picked the two companies that are the big ones trading relative value in that the share price is significantly off. And look, if you believe that a Flutter can withstand the onslaught attack from these prediction markets, and it can regain supremacy in the US market, and also that you believe regulation and taxation has sort of reached peak, well then it's a very interesting bet. It's a large, profitable, scale business. And Evolution, it's had big share price decrease because of, they've had decline in the European market, and they've also had Asian sort of secondary providers taking their product and distributing it, and also in areas that are not allowed, sanctioned areas. So they've had big decrease in share price, but they're a scale operator. They've got a clear number one in live dealer, and they've got mass distribution, and they pump out a lot of cash, like $1 billion of free cash flow a year. So they're two big business. I can see why he's invested in them.
And finally, I guess we're heading into footy season here. There's a lot happening overseas in summer. What's sort of the big things that people are looking at to bet on at the moment?
Well, people bet all the time.
I know,
no matter what. It's an amazing thing. And the average bettor in Australia probably has 60 bets plus a week, and it can be in whether it's Ipswich or in I don't know, Moonee Valley, or it can be in the next football match.
There's some big events happening.
There is big events, but what has surprised me running an online betting business, because traditionally I grew up as an on-course bookmaker, is that really punters want to go to where there's a lot of product. So you wouldn't believe that basketball was the biggest sport in Australia from a betting point of view. It's because there's so many basketball games, and it's also in a time zone where there's actually not a lot of other competing product in the morning. But obviously you've got all the big events. You've got Royal Ascot coming up, you've got the World Cup soccer, State of Origin. There's always great things to bet on.